What's up, everybody? This is Domingo here on Network, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh video I'm going to be doing, guys, I'm going to be doing a deck profile, and the deck profile I'm going to be doing in this video is going to be my Cyber Dragon deck profile. So yes, I am very happy to do the Cyber Dragon deck profile. I love Cyber Dragon ever since the Yu-Gi-Oh GX era. This deck was from a character by the name of Zane. True name, Zane plays Cyber Dragons in Yu-Gi-Oh GX. This is his deck, and I love Cyber Dragon. It's one of my favorite decks. This deck is so much fun to do. It's a lot of fun, cool deck to play. You know, if you play for fun or competitive. Me, I just play Cyber Dragons for fun. So I'm going to show you guys the main deck and the extra deck as well. So I'm explaining some of my card choices. So without further ado, let's get this deck profile started. So here we go. We're going to start off with the main deck first. So let's start off with the main deck. I played 3 copies of the original, the OG Cyber Dragon. This is a card you always got to play at 3. Of course, you already know what it does. If your opponent controls a monster, you control no monsters, special summon this card from your hand. But you're not going to use that effect that much because there's like other cards that you can do to summon Cyber Dragon out, special summon up from your deck. So it's pretty cool. So the OG Cyber Dragon, you always got to play this card at 3. Next, I do play 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. Core is really good in this deck. This is a card you always got to play at 3. What Core does is, when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Cyber Spell and Trap card from your deck to your hand. If only your opponent controls a monster, and you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. You can only use 1 of Cyber Dragon Core's effect per turn only once that turn. Also, this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field in the graveyard. So that's actually pretty good. So it does come out as a Cyber Dragon monster. And of course, it's a 400 attack one, which means you can gain access to your Link monster like Solomon Great Amarage. So that's pretty good. And this card is a really good searcher for your Cyber Spell and Trap. And of course, have special summon the Cyber Dragon monster for your deck is pretty good. Of course, there's a lot of ways to special summon Cyber Dragon for your deck, and one of course effect is one of them. And of course, the card's name becomes Cyber Dragon on the field in the graveyard is pretty amazing. So this is a card you always got to play at 3. And also, this card could be targeted using the effect of Machine Duplication because it has less than 500 attack one, because it has 400 attack one, which is pretty good. Next, I play another card that you always got to play at 3 as well. 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Hertz. Hertz is really good in this deck. It's a level 1 monster that has 100 attack as well. It could be used. You can link summon for Link Karibo because Hertz is level 1, and also is another target for Machine Duplication as well. And of course, Hertz effect says this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or in the graveyard. You can only use 1 of the following effects of Cyber Dragon Hertz per turn, and only once that turn. If this card is special summon, you can make this card's level become 5 until the end phase of this turn. Make it a level 5 monster. Also, you cannot special summon a monster for the rest of the turn except machine monsters. And the second effect, and the other effect says, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 other Cyber Dragon monster for your deck or graveyard to your hand. So that's actually pretty good. You know. Of course, you're mostly going to use the effect where, it's sent to the graveyard and then search for a Cyber Dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And the other effect, it doesn't come up a ton, the one that, you can make it a level 5 and then you go for a Cyber Dragon. It could come up at times, especially if you're going to go for your rank 5, like go for your Cyber Dragon Nova Infinity and stuff, or any other rank 5. Or you can even go to your Link place as well with this card, so it's pretty good. Next, I play a card that I play at 3, and I play 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Esther. I know some people play this card at 2. I kind of like it at 3 better because it's basically like a monster reborn effect, but for like machine monsters that has like 2100 attack or defense. So basically what Nestor's effect does is, if this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field or the graveyard, you can discard 1 other monster, special summon this card from your hand. If this card's normal special summon, you can target 1 machine monster with 2101 attack or 2100 defense in your graveyard. Special summon it. Also, your opponent cannot. You cannot special summon any other monster rest of the turn except machine monster. You can only use each effect of Cyber Dragon Esther once per turn. And so it's pretty good. Basically like a monster reborn effect for machines, as long as they have like either 2100 attack or defense. And is this card bricky at 3? Well, to me, it's not bricky. I feel like at 3 is kind of better in my opinion because it did help a lot. If you want to play 2, you could. It's all lots of personal preference. And also, this card is also level 1, which you can go Link Cyber for Link Karibo. And you can and it's also another target for Machine Duplication as well. So that's actually pretty good as well. And also, the good thing about Nastor though, if you have this and let's say you have Cyber Dragon Infinity in your graveyard, special summon with Naster's effect to summon out the Infinity in your graveyard, and then you can activate Infinity's effect to target a face-up attack with your monster. Let's say you're a Naster and use it, and then use it as an XA material, which is also pretty good as well. So 3 copies of Naster is pretty good. And next, I play another card that, you know, some people play this at 1. I kind of like it at 3, and that's 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Veer. Veer is a really good extender. What this card does is, if this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon while it's on the field of the graveyard, if you normal summon the special summon the Cyber Dragon monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. You can only use each effect of Cyber Dragon Veer once per turn. Each Cyber Dragon you control gains 500 attack and defense. So I mostly play this card for the extender. So, and the good thing about this card, if you have this and Cyber Dragon Core, right? You normal summon your core, and then you can activate the effect. Like Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2 will be Cyber Dragon Veer's effect. Special summon Veer, and then you can get the search from Core's effect. If you do that, the good thing about that, if you do that, your opponent cannot Ash Blossom it, because you know it's Chain Link 1 Core, Chain Link 1 Core, Chain Link 2 is Veer. So that's actually pretty good, because once you know some of the core, and then Chain Link to Cyber Dragon Veer, special summon Veer, your opponent cannot Ash Blossom it. So that's actually pretty good, and you still get the effect of core. So that's actually really good. And I played this at 3 just because to get more extenders. So those are the Cyber Dragon monsters that I play. Now for the non-Cyber Dragon monsters, I play the other monsters I play to help Cyber Dragons. 2 copies of Galaxy Soldier. This card's pretty good. It's a level 5 monster. You mostly use it for your XC plays, especially if you want to go for your Cyber Dragon Nova and even go for your Infinity as well. Of course, you can send another light monster from the end of the graveyard, so summon this card for your hand, defense position. When this card is special summon, you can add 1 Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect as Galaxy once per turn. So, you know, you special summon this, and then you get the effect search for the other Galaxy Soldier, and then, you know, special summon for the end again. So it's pretty good. You only need to play 2. You don't really need to play 3. I think 2 of these is enough. You don't really need to play a third one. So 2 Galaxy Soldier is fine. And next, I do play. I play some hand traps in this deck as well. And you can play any other hand traps you want. It's all up to personal preference. But the hand traps that I play for Cyber Dragon is 2 copies of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, 2 copies of Effect Veiler, 2 copies of Skullmeister, 1 copy of Jishikira the Star Destroying Kaiju, and the 1 copy of Dino Wrestler Pranka Tots. So these are the hand traps that I play. I play 8 of these because just to help out Cyber Dragon a lot. Pretty good cards to play. You know, Ghost Bell is pretty good. Effect Veil is pretty good, especially in negating an opponent's monster. Skullmeister is a underrated hand trap, but it's pretty good because what it does, you know, quick effect, you know, negate an opponent's card from when they activate a card effect in the graveyard. So it's pretty good. Jishikira is pretty good. Like, you know, if your opponent has like a strong monster, you can just tribute it and then special summon Jishikira in your opponent's side and get rid of that opponent's strong monster. And also Jishikira is a machine monster, which means you can go like contact fusion with the Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon is pretty good. And Dino Wrestler Pranka Chop is pretty good, like special summon your hand and stuff. Good extender, as well as, you know, tribute the Pranka Chops and target a card your opponent don't destroy. So it does help a lot. So it's pretty good. So these are the hand traps I play. You can play any other hand trap like a Drone Lock Bird or a Ghost Ogre or Ash Blossom. It's all up to personal preference. You know, whatever hand trap you want to play, it's all up to you guys. That's it for the monsters. Now we're gonna move on to the spells. So for the spells, I do play 3 copies of Cyber Emergency. Cyber Emergency is a card you always gotta play at 3. It's a really good extender. What this card does is you can add. It's a pretty good searcher. You know, so basically you can add 1 light machine monster that cannot be normal summoned or set, or 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. You know, if the activation of this card in its owner's possession was negated by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can discard 1 card and add this card to your hand. You can only activate 1 Cyber Emergency per turn. So it's a card you always gotta play. It's a really good searcher, and just in case your opponent negates it, you can just discard a card and add it back to your hand, and then the next turn you can activate. Because remember, you only have to activate 1 Cyber Emergency per turn. But Cyber Emergency is still pretty good though. And this card you always gotta play at 3. Next, I play a really good extender card, and that's 2 copies of Cyber Rest System. I know some people play 1 of this and then a Monster Reborn, but I feel like I like to play 2 of these because I like the effect of Cyber Rest System because it has an effect where, you know, you can special summon 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your hand or graveyard, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Excuse me. So yeah, it's a really good card. Cyber Rest System, you know, special summon your Cyber Dragon from your hand or graveyard, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects. Like, it's really cool. And I know some people play like 1 of this. I like it at 2, but I feel like 2 is better in my opinion. And it's when you summon out your Cyber Dragon Infinity, and then you can have it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and then you use Infinity to affect it, like target the face-up attack of Mr. Montefiore using XP material and stuff. It's pretty cool. So 2 copies of Cyber Rest System. And next I played 1 copy of Cyber Repair Plan. Repair Plan is good at 1. Because you don't need to play like 2 or 3 of these anymore. 1 is enough in my opinion because there's like other Cyber Dragon cards that you need to play more than Cyber Repair Plan. But Cyber Repair Plan is only good at 1. You only need 1 of this. You don't need to play multiple of these. What this card does, if a Cyber Dragon is in your grave, you can activate 1 of these effects. If you have 3 or more Cyber Dragon monsters in your graveyard, you can activate this card's evacuation. You can activate both effects and resolve in sequences. So the first effect says you can add 1 light machine monster from your deck to your hand. The other effect says you can target 1 light machine monster from your graveyard, shuffle that target into the deck. And of course, you only have to activate 1 Cyber Repair per turn. So it's pretty good. And you can activate 1 of these effects as well. But if you have 3 or more Cyber Dragon monsters in graveyard, you can use both of their effects. So it's pretty good. So 1 copy of Cyber Repair Plan. And the next card that I play in this deck is, this is a card that, another card, you always got to play this card at 1. You don't need to play multiple of these because 1 is enough. 1 copy of Cyberlord Fusion. Cyberlord Fusion is a really good fusion card for Cyber Dragons. You only need 1. You don't need to play multiple of these. 1 is enough. What this card does, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck that listed the Cyber Dragon monster as materials by shuffling the fusion materials listed onto it into the deck from among your cards on the field and / or face up banished cards. But monsters you control cannot declare an attack for the rest of the turn except that fusion summoning monster. You can only activate 1 Cyberlord Fusion per turn. So it's pretty good. Yeah, even though it says you only have to attack with only the fusion summoning monster that you summon out with Cyberlord, it's still pretty good because like shuffling your Cyber Dragon monsters that is either on the field or face up banished, like, it's pretty cool. And also this card could be you can actually use Predator Plan Valkyrie Anaconda to Foolish Burial Cyberlord Fusion, pay 2,000, and then you have Anaconda to be treated as Cyberlord Fusion, then you get the effect and stuff. So it's pretty good. And of course, you know, under the target for the Anaconda. Next, I do play 2 copies of Overlord Fusion. Of course, no need to explain it. I play Overlord Fusion just for Anaconda as well, because this is the card you're going to need to summon out your Chimera Check Rampage Dragon. So 2 copies of Overlord Fusion. And the next one I play 1 copy of Power Bomb. Power Bomb is good because I do play Cyber Twin Dragon and Cyber End Dragon, so that way you can double their attack points and then inflict piercing damage. It's good for, like, you know, for the OTKs and stuff like that. So 1 Power Bomb is all you need, but also you got to be very careful when you use it because it has an effect like during the end phase you take damage equal to the original attack points of the fusion monster you summon out with this effect. So just in mind and be careful when you use it. But Power Bomb is still pretty good for the OTKs and stuff. Alright guys, so next I'm going to be playing another good spell card. This is a card you always got to play at 3, and that is 3 copies of Machine Duplication. Machine Duplication is amazing because it's a really good card because when it does come up at times, it could be really clutch. So it's pretty good. What this card does, you target 1 machine monster you control with 500 or less attack, special summon up to 2 monsters from your deck with the same name as that face-up monster. And the good thing about this card, right, Machine Duplication, you know, you can the Machine Duplication target is Cyber Dragon Core, Cyber Dragon Hertz, and Cyber Dragon Naster, and they all have the same effects where they become Cyber Dragon while they're on the field, which means you can special summon the 2 level 5 original Cyber Dragons from your deck with Machine Duplication. That way you can go for your Link plays or your rank 5 XC plays. It's a really good card. It is amazing. This is a card you always got to play at 3. It's a really good card because it could be really clutch, and it does help a lot. And for the 1-up spells that I play in this deck, I play 1 copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial, you know, help, especially you want to send your Core or your Hearse to the graveyard and get their effects. 1 copy of Call by the Grave. It's pretty good. Like if your opponent activate like a hand trap or a monster effect activate in the grave, you just banish it. And 1 copy of Harvey's Feather Duster. just to get rid of your opponent, get rid of all the spells and traps your opponent controls. So it's pretty good. So that's it. Those are the one-off spells. That's it for the spell cards. And as far as traps, I do play 4. The first one I'm going to show you is 1 copy of Cybernetic Overflow. Overflow, you only need to play 1. 1 of this is enough. What this card does, you can banish Cyber Dragons with different levels from your hand, face up, field, and slash, or graveyard, then destroy equal number of cards your opponent control. If this card is on the field, it's destroyed by a card effect. You can add a Cyber Spell track off from your deck to your hand. You can only use this each effect of Cybernetic Overflow once per turn. So it's pretty good because, and of course it could be searched with Cyber Dragon Core and stuff like that. So that way, get rid of your opponent's cards and stuff, pop them up, and then if it's destroyed, you can search for a Cyber Spell and track card. So it's really, really good. And you only need to play 1. You don't need to play multiple copies of those. And the last track cards I play to round out the extra deck is a really good hand trap, and I prefer this over Infinite Permanent, and that is 3 copies of Evenly Matched. Infinite Permanent is good, but I just like Evenly Matched better because I feel like, in my opinion, Evenly Matched has like a better effect than Infinite Permanent. Infinite Permanent is a good hand trap, don't get me wrong, but I prefer Evenly Matched over Infinite Permanent because, like, this is a card where, you could, you force your opponent to, like, for them to banish their cards they control on the field, and they have to control the same number of cards as you have. So it's really good to, like, forcing your opponent to banish their cards. And the good thing about this card, if you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. So it's still pretty good. So 3 copies of Evenly Matched, very good hand trap to play. If you could play Infinite Permanence if you want, it's all lots of personal preference. But in my opinion, I just like Evenly Matched better. So that's my opinion about that. So now we're going to move on to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, I do play the fusions. I play 1 copy of Cyber End Dragon and 1 copy of Cyber Twin Dragon. So these 2 cards are the cards that I play in this deck. Of course, Cyber End Dragon, when it has 4,000 attack points, it can attack an opponent's monster in defense position and inflict piercing damage, so it's pretty good. And also, if you have this with Power Bomb, you can have Cyber End Dragon's original attack become 8,000 if your opponent inflict piercing damage to your opponent, and for the OTKs and stuff, which is amazing. Cyber Twin Dragon is also has an effect where it can attack twice during each battle phase, and it has 2,800 attack points. You can power bomb your Cyber Twin Dragon and have it 100 attack points, and attack twice and stuff, and go for the OTKs and stuff. So it's really, really good. These 2 cards are really good fusion cards to play. Next, so that's it for the Cyber Dragon fusion. Now we're going to go to the Chimera Tech fusions. We're going to start off with 2 copies of Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. This is a card you always got to play at 2. 2 is always the perfect number for this deck. And of course, what this card does is a fusion summon of this card can only be done with the above fusion materials. When this card is fusion summoned, you can target spells and traps on the field up to the number of fusion materials used for its fusion summoning, then destroy them. Once per turn, you can send up to 2 light machine monsters from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do for each monster that was sent to the graveyard, this card gains 1 additional attack during each battle phase's turn. So that's actually pretty good. So once you send 2, get rid of the back row, and also if you send the 2 light machine, Foolish Bear 2 of your light machine monsters, and give Chimera Tech extra 2 attacks. So you have that, and then a third one. So that's like it can attack 3 times during each battle phase. So it's really, really good. Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon is amazing. See. And for the other Chimera Techs you play, I do play 1 copy of Chimera Tech Meta Fleet Dragon. You only need to play 1. You don't need to play multiples of these. I think 1 is all you need. So, and of course, what this card does, of course, it has a fusion material with 1 Cyber Dragon monster and 1+ monsters that is in the extra monster zone. Effect cannot be used as fusion material. Must first be special summoned from the extra deck by sending the above cards from either from the field to the graveyard. You do not use polarization. The original attack of this card becomes 1,200, multiplying the number of fusion material used for special summoning. It's a really good card. Chimera Tech Meta Fleet Dragon is amazing because, let's say you have a Cyber Dragon and you have 1 monster in the extra monster zone. Let's say your opponent has 1 in the monster zone. You can use all this material, contact for Meta Fleet, and it gains 1,200 attack for each of them. So that means it gains like 36. So it gains like 3,600 attack points. So that's actually pretty good. So 1 copy of Meta Fleet Dragon, and to round out the fusions, I do play 1 copy of Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. It's a really good card. You mostly use it for like OTKs and stuff. What this card does, it cannot be used for fusion material except for must be fusion summon from your extra deck by sending the above fusion cards from either from the field to the graveyard. and you do not use polarization. Of course, the original attack of this card becomes 1,000 multiplied by the numbers of fusion material used to special summon this card. Really good. Of course, the fusion material requires a Cyber Dragon and 1+ more machine monsters. And the good thing about this card, if you have the Kaiju and then you have a Cyber Dragon, use Kaiju's effect, summon your opponent, get rid of your opponent's stronger monster, then contact fusion. And also, if your opponent plays, it also is really good against like mirror matches. Like if your opponent has a Cyber Dragon monster and more machine monsters, you could contact fusion, go with Fortress Dragon, and Fortress Dragon gain more attack points and make it stronger. So it's pretty good for, it's good for like if your opponent plays Cyber Dragon or any other type of machine deck. So that's it for the fusions. Now we're gonna move on to the XYZ. For the XYZs, I do play 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova and 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Infinity. Of course, the Cyber Dragon package of Nova Infinity is really good to play. Nova has an effect where once per turn you can detach one material from this card to target 1 Cyber Dragon monster graveyard special summon that target. The other effect is once per turn, quick effect, you can banish 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your hand or face up from your monster zone. This card gains 2100 attack until the end of the turn. If this card in position sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you special summon 1 machine future monster from your extra deck. So it's pretty good. It's you mostly gotta use it for like to gain attack points and stuff. And also there's a combo with Nova and the Link Monster Cyber Dragon Seeger as well, so that's pretty good. And Infinity is a really good card as well, because what he does, if you have, once you summon out your Nova, you can Chaos Xyz and go for your Affinity. And Affinity's effect, you know, once per turn, you can only actually summon Cyber Dragon Infinity by using Cyber Dragon Novas. You control it as material, transfer as material to gain to this card. Infinity gains 200 attack points for each material attached to this card. Once per turn, target 1 face-up attack position monster on the field. It attaches to this card as material. Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you get detach 1 extra material from this card. Negate the evacuation if you do destroy it. So it's pretty good. You get that effect once per turn. You know, negate and destroy by attaching material, and of course it gains 200 attack for each material and stuff. And it's amazing. Like, it's pretty cool. And also it has 2100 attack points, which means you can summon it with Naster's effect and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. The Cyber Dragon package is amazing. It's really, 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 really good. And as far as the other XCs I play 1 copy of Constellar Pleiades. Pleiades is really good because, since all your Cyber Dragon monsters are light attributes, and most of them are level 5, you can actually bounce back 1 card in the field. It's a compulsory effect, so you want to bounce back 1 card you're putting control and return it to the hand, so it does help a lot. Now, that's it for the XYZ. Now, for the links, I do play 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Seeger. Seeger is really good. You only need to play 1 Seeger. What this card does is, this card's name becomes Cyber Dragon once on the field of the graveyard. During each battle phase, if this card has not declared an attack quick effect, you can target 1 machine monster you control. And again, with 21 or more attack points, and for the rest of the turn, that monster gains 2100 attack and defense. Also, neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this monster. You can only use each effect of Cyber Secret once per turn. And remember, like I said, there's a combo with this card with the Cyber Dragon Nova, so that way you can have the game more attack points and stuff, which is really good. So 1 copy of Seeger. And for the other links I play 1 copy of Predator Plant Valkyrie Anaconda. Anaconda is really good. You pay 2,000 life points, and then you can send a fusion card from your deck to the graveyard. It could be, any fusion card in this name, and then it helps you go for your fusion summon, like if you go for your Cyber Twin or your Cyber N, or even for your Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon as well, like he's with Overlord fusion and stuff. So it's really good. And the other links I play, 1 copy of Link Karibo. Link Karibo is amazing. Since your level 1 monsters is Cyber Dragon, Hearst, and Naster, so it's easy to summon out Karibo. And the last Link monsters to round off the extra deck is 1 copy of Solomon Great Amarage. Since most of your monsters are less than 1,000 attack, and they also normal summon, you can go for your Amarage as well. So of course, once you summon out your core, and then you use the effect and all this stuff, and then link summon for Amarage and stuff. So Amarage is really good. It really helps out this deck a lot. So that's got to be it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed my Cyber Dragon deck profile. I love this deck very much. It's a really fun deck to play and competitive as well. So this deck is amazing. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. So don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe. Post your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about my Cyber Dragon deck profile. That's going to be it for this video, guys. So this is Domingo Hero Network. All I can say is take care, have a good day, goodbye everyone, and Domingo Hero Network is signing out. Peace.